Hello, BookTube, and welcome back to Reading in the Dark. Byron here. This video is going to be another readathon announcement from me. It's a crazy month, February. It's short. It's hard to say the word February, and it's got readathons going on. So I'm going to join them because, hey, life is short. So, in 2019, why am I talking about 2019? In February, I'm taking part in 2 readathons. The first is Contemporary-A-Thon, and I will link to my TBR for that below. The second readathon that I'm taking part in is Thriller-A-Thon, another readathon that I also took part in last year. Thriller-A-Thon starts the very day after Contemporary-A-Thon. So I'm taking part in both, and that's a choice. So, in other words, Thriller-A-Thon starts on February 18th and runs all the way through the 24th. It's a 7-day readathon. So I'm going to finish one readathon and probably have like a vlog to put up and like a wrap up to do. And then the very next day I'm going to start another readathon because I'm smart. So this readathon is hosted by Harriet Rosie. And it's really funny because every time I make one of these videos, I have to run away and make sure who the hosts are. This one is easy to remember because there's just Harriet Rosie. So Harriet Rosie is the name that I keep saying because she is the person who hosted the readathon. What is wrong with me? Okay, for Thriller-A-Thon, there are 6 challenges. I think there were only 5 last year. This year, there are 6. So the first challenge says to read the thriller that you're most anticipating. And I haven't really been like pining away to read any of the thrillers that I currently own, but the one that I guess I've been thinking about reading for a while is Bird Box by Josh Malerman. I don't necessarily know if I've been like super anticipating it, but I have been thinking about it. I'm going to read it because I still haven't been able to watch the adaptation on Netflix because I'm weird that way. I have to read the thing first. So the first book I will be reading for Thriller-A-Thon is Bird Box by Josh Malerman. The second challenge says to read the thriller that's been on your TBR the longest. Now, again, I bought a bunch of books on the same day way a long time ago. So there were a couple of options for this, but the one that I've chosen is the book that I have actually been hoping to read in February ever since I bought it. And it just so happens that it's a thriller and it works for this readathon, and so that's really, really awesome. And that book is The One by John Mars. This is a book that tells a story of like an alternate future. What the hell does that mean? A future in which there's like this test where you can take a DNA test and that will match you up with your soulmate and like the love of your life, and you just basically take a test and they like put you together and you're happily ever after kind of thing. But of course, stuff goes wrong and bad things happen, and not everybody is who you think they're going to be just based on the DNA, and people have secrets, etc., etc. So, scary thriller about love. It's got like a heart and possibly blood on the front, so that's lovely and very Valentine's Day-ish. And so I'll be reading The One. The next book, or the next challenge for Thriller-A-Thon, says to read the thriller that you most recently added to your TBR. And I'm not really sure if this is a thriller first. I do think it is partially a thriller, though, based on some of the things that I've read about it, and I have really been wanting to read it, and so I'm going to be reading The Haunting of Tram Car 15 by P. Djèlí Clark. This is a story this is a story that is set in the same world as the short story that I read in A Clockwork Cairo. I keep calling it A Clockwork Cairo, and it's not called that. It's called Clockwork Cairo. Clark had a story in Clockwork Cairo that was set in Egypt, and it was a steampunk story. It was about genies and angels and things like that, and sort of had like a magical element to it. And it was a little bit gritty and dark, and it was very, very good, and I really, really liked it. It was one of my favorite stories in that collection. And he also has a story called A Dead Djinn in Cairo, which is sort of first chronologically in that world that he's written in now a couple of times. The story that I read is second, and then this story, The Haunting of Tram Car 15, would be third. So I have not read A Dead Djinn in Cairo yet, but I'm going to. It's a short story, I think, or it's a novella. This is also a novella, The Haunting of Tram Car 15, and I just really enjoyed his writing style, and I like that world, and I'm really excited to kind of delve back into Egyptian steampunk with this story, and that's my pick for the third challenge. The next challenge says to read the thriller with the best cover, and I have been looking at this cover for a long time and wishing that I had read it It was another one of my choices for Contemporary-A-Thon last year that I didn't get to because of Blindness by Jose Saramago. And that is this beauty right here, Mother of Invention by Caeli, Wolfson, Widger. This is a story set in the near future where a company has come out with a medical procedure that will shorten pregnancy for women from 9 months to 6 weeks. And it's called the Seahorse Solution, and they're on the verge of their first human trial, and, you know, stuff goes down. So it's medical, thriller, science-y, it's literary, it has things to say about women's reproductive rights and things, and it's a thriller. So I've been kind of looking forward to reading this for a long time, and I love this cover. I think I said that the first time I ever talked about this book. Look at the cover, it's just really, really cool. I don't know, maybe it's just me, I just think it's really cool. All right, I'm going to read that. The next challenge is to revisit a thriller or author, or a thriller author. So last year, I think it said to revisit a favorite thriller or thriller series or author. But anyway, this year, I might not be doing this challenge, really. And if I don't, I'll just count the Haunting of Tramcar 15 by P. Djèlí Clark for that challenge because I have read him before. But what I am possibly gonna do is read Hope Never Dies by Andrew Shaffer. This is a ridiculous, like, caper thriller story featuring Joe Biden and Barack Obama as they go off to investigate the disappearance of Joe Biden's favorite Amtrak train conductor. This is apparently book 1 in the Obama-Biden mysteries, which is awesome. We need joy in our lives, and Andrew Shaffer's here to bring it for us. So if I get around to reading another book, I will read Hope Never Dies, but it's also very possible that I won't. But this is on there just in case. The final challenge in the Thriller-A-Thon list says to read a thriller that someone else has recommended, and again, that is The Haunting of Tramcar 15. So I'm doubling up in a couple of cases. So for this readathon, I'll be reading Bird Box by Josh Malerman, The One by John Mars, The Haunting of Tramcar 15 by P. Djèlí Clark, Mother of Invention by Caeli, Wolfson, Widger, and possibly Hope Never Dies by Andrew Shaffer. I think that's going to be a really fun week of reading, and just as with Contemporary-A-Thon, I'm planning on vlogging every day, but I'm not totally sure what's going to happen. Things happen in life, so we'll see. Please don't get mad at me if I don't vlog every single day. I'll probably record every day, but I don't know. Maybe I won't post every day, and hopefully y'all won't come for me. Y'all. I just said y'all because I live in Florida, so y'all. Yeah, so that is my TBR for Thriller-A-Thon 2019. I'm super excited about Thriller-A-Thon. I had a great time doing this last year. That's when I read Frankenstein and The Woman in the Window, which was meh, and I don't remember, some other things. Anyway, I read a bunch of stuff last year for Thriller-A-Thon, and it was a really good time. So thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, and if you love this video, you can subscribe to my channel and hit that bell icon so you'll always be notified when I post new stuff, and you won't miss anything, yada, yada, yada. Don't you hate it when people do things like this at the end of all their videos? That's all that stuff. Thank you for being here for this little bookish conversation, and until next time, I will be here in the dark, reading. Bye.